Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here. We are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Saturday, January 7th slate of NBA action. Man, I'm super excited to dive into it. We don't have a very big slate on, unfortunately, only 5 games. And we only have about lines up for about half the teams as of right now, too. So definitely not a tremendous slate, but still did find some value on 2 plays so far. I'll more than likely be adding one, so if you guys do want to go ahead and find out what I'm adding, as always, make sure you guys do check out the pinned comment section and you check out my Twitter. The added play, if I end up having one, will be in both those spots, so make sure you guys do check it out. But overall, we did find some value in 2 plays, so we're going to go ahead and dive into that. But before we did, I did just want to go ahead and say we are still currently on the road to 11,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys do like, comment, subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, we're on the road to 11,000. Make sure that you are subbed. Next, I did just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do, and thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. It truly does mean the absolute world to me, so much more than you guys will ever know. So, let's go ahead and dive into a quick recap as of yesterday. We had a winning day, and we needed it in the worst way, man. We have been on an ice-cold stretch. I think we had like 4 losing days in a row, or I don't even remember exactly, but we've been really, really bad. We needed a winning day, and we finally got that. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into a recap as of yesterday. So, we did end up having our kill shot play of the day. Fred VanVleet over 18.5 points versus the Knicks, minus 105. This one was no sweat. I get why a lot of people were pretty skeptical of this bet, but he ends up hitting it pretty easily in the third quarter, ends up going on to drop 28. So he almost had 30 points. We're talking about an all-star as of last year. Fred VanVleet is still a really good player. He was just going through a little bit of a shooting slump. I expect his numbers or his lines to go back up to that 20.5 probably next game. So I wanted to take advantage of it while I still had the chance to. Also, we did end up having Kristaps Porzingis over 9.5 rebounds versus OKC. I'll be completely honest, this one was pretty sweaty. I was a little bit worried about this one, not necessarily because he wasn't performing well, because he definitely was, but the game was getting out of hand. The game was starting to be a blowout here between the Wizards and the Thunder, and the Thunder started to blow them out. So I was really worried that Porzingis wasn't going to play in the fourth quarter, and he really didn't play a whole lot. He only ended up, I think he finished out the game, but outside of that, I don't think he really did much in that fourth quarter. Luckily for us, throughout the first 3 quarters, right before he ends up getting taken out, he did grab a rebound to get that 10th one. So it was definitely close, but it ended up working out for us. Then we did end up having James Harden over 41.5 PRAs versus my Chicago Bulls. This was pretty bittersweet. I got to be honest. Of course, I never want to see a bet lose. I mean, come on. I mean, as a capper, I'd never want to see a bet lose. But I loved watching this because I was watching the game, of course, and Patrick Williams put the absolute locks on James Harden. He started off the game like 1 for 11 from the field. Almost every single point that he had was off of free throws. He really, really struggled tonight. And James Harden did come close to a triple-double. He had like a really good counting stats, but he really just couldn't get the scoring part of his game going. And so it was bittersweet because Zach LaVine, of course, 11 for 13 from 3. Vucevic, triple-double. I mean, come on. The Bulls just played really, really well. And so as a Bulls fan, it made me happy that the Bulls were playing so well, but at the same time, I was like, man, really wish we could have won the bet. You know, it was kind of one of those things, but Bulls ended up getting the win. So I'm pretty happy about it. And James Harden he wasn't really that far off. He finished with 35 PRAs, so he was just about 7 short. I think that he could have got there, but he was just really struggling shooting the ball. If he even shoots like his average, he hits the over. So, it is what it is. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's plays. So, like I said, we do only have 2 plays as of right now. So for our kill shot play of the day, we're going to be taking Domantas Sabonis over 35.5 points plus rebounds here versus the Lakers at minus 105 odds. Now, I like this for a couple different reasons. First things first, he's gone under in 3 straight games and this line has not moved. I think that this is saying that this is going to be a game that he does have a bounce back spot, a game that he does end up going over, and it's a pretty good matchup. He is at home in Sacramento, and he's gone over in 2 out of his last 3 home games. And With that being said, he has played this Lakers team, I think it was like a week or two ago, and he did only have 34 points plus rebounds. But if you take a look at it, he still had 12 points and 21 rebounds, and he only shot the ball 8 times. So if you're telling me that he's going to shoot the ball more this time, and he even comes close to that rebounding number, I think he soars over this 35 and a half. I really do. He's been a really good scorer of the basketball here recently, so if he can get to his 15 to 20, I think that there's a pretty good chance that we do end up hitting this over. Also, in the last 7 games, the Lakers do allow the 8th most points per game to opposing centers, so they have given up a lot of points in the paint. And on the season, they've given up the 5th most rebounds per game to opposing centers. So I think that it is a pretty good spot here overall. And they do allow the 6th most points per game in the paint this year and the 4th most in the last 3. So this is really good because Sabonis, as much as I do love Sabonis, he really doesn't shoot a ton of threes. He shoots them every once in a while, but he really doesn't shoot a whole lot. And so that's what I really like about this, is because Sabonis does spend a lot of his time in the paint. And with that being said, I think that he is going to be able to feast in there, truly. I think it's a really good spot here for Sabonis. So that, and also the Lakers are on a second leg of a back-to-back. And on the second leg of a back-to-back, they allow 129 points per game to their opponents, and that's just not good. That's not a recipe for a team to go under in any stretch. I think that a lot of the Kings players do have really good matchups today. I truly do, but I just personally like Sabonis as the most. I think that as great as Thomas Bryant has been, he's liable for foul trouble, and I just think that overall, I think that Sabonis can get it done here for us. So that is going to be our first official play of the day, our King Skill Shot play of the day. Sabonis over 35.5 points plus rebounds here versus the Lakers at minus 105 odds. Now for our second official play of the day, we are going to be taking Lauri Markkanen over 27.5 points here versus my Chicago Bulls at minus 105 odds. Now I'll be honest, this is going to be the ultimate test here for Lauri. This is going to be the test where if Lauri hits this over, he's going into my Hall of Fame. There's just no doubt about it. I'll probably even order a Utah Lauri Markkanen jersey because this is a high number to reach. I get that. But it's set high for a good reason. He's going against his former team, the team that drafted him in Chicago. He's also gone over in 6 straight games. So it's not like he can't get there, because I definitely think he can. He's also gone over this line in 5 straight road games, and he's playing in Chicago. I'm not going to stress that anymore, but like, he's in Chicago. Also, he does average slightly more points per game on the road this year. It's not by a whole lot, but it is a pretty decent margin there. And in the last 7 games, the Bulls do allow the 7th most points per game to opposing small forwards. I love DeMar DeRozan, but he really doesn't like play a whole lot of defense. He's there to score the basketball. He's there to facilitate just a little bit and knock down some of the tough shots in the clutch. Not really there to play defense. And the Bulls, they are going to be on the second leg of a back-to-back. Their defense could be worse. And on top of that, the Bulls, they play way better against good teams, like teams that are in the top 5, top 10, as we saw yesterday versus the Philadelphia 76ers. They played tremendous. They play really good against those juggernaut teams. And Utah, though they have been really good, I think this is going to be a game where the Bulls do let their guard down, and I do think Lauri Markkanen does have a pretty big night against them. And Chicago does allow the 9th most points per game to opposing teams in general in the last 3 games, so they give up a ton of points. So not only do they give up a ton of points, it's going to be against a guy that's going up against his old team that's been red hot. Sign me up. I think it's a really good spot here for Lauri Markkanen. This is going to be the true test to see if he is in the Hall of Fame here on the King Sanders channel. Like, this is a tough number to reach, but I think he can do it. So that's going to be our second play of the day. Lauri Markkanen over 27.5 points here versus Chicago, a minus 105 odds. Now, I will go ahead and talk about a lean that I did have. I really do like Draymond Green over in rebounds here versus Orlando. I'm not sure what they'll put the line at. It has not been released yet. I would assume it's probably around 7.5 or 8.5. I wouldn't play it any higher than that. So if it's set at 9.5, do not take it. But he has gotten at least 8 rebounds in his last 6 games, and he's seen multiple games where he did see double digits in the last 6 games. So I think that he can get it done here versus Orlando. I know that they have trees, but they still allow the 5th most points or rebounds per game to opposing power forwards in the last 7 games. So despite them having a very tall team, they just really haven't been crashing the glass a lot. And with how fast Golden State plays and Orlando is trending towards the fast-paced direction, I think that there's going to be a lot of missed shots here, and I think that Draymond Green can get a lot of those rebounds. So that is another lean that I do really like, is Draymond Green over in rebounds versus Orlando. But like I said, I don't have any odds or anything like that. So, go ahead and check out the pinned comment section if there is that play added on as well. Now we are going to go ahead and go to the consensus play. As of right now, we are going to the Pelicans and the Mavericks game. The Mavericks are currently 7-point favorites here. There's a lot of injuries here in this game. Pelicans do still have Liddell out. They still have Brandon Ingram out, and Zion Williamson all going to be out for this game. And the Mavericks, they do have Luka listed as questionable. Finney-Smith is out, Josh Green is out, and Maxi Kleber is out. So from left to right, we do have Brady. Brady is going to be taking the Pelicans. We do have Mitch. Mitch is also going to be taking the Pelicans. We do have Ryan. Ryan is also going to be taking the Pelicans. And Seth and I are going to be taking the Mavericks. I think that this is a good spot for the Mavericks. I know that Luka's listed as questionable, but this line being -7, it says that Luka's going to play. So I do think that Luka plays. I think that the Mavs do cover. But as always, I'm going to be riding with my guys. So the play here is the Pelicans +7 here, 3 cappers to 2. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. We finally had a winning day. It's been a while, and it's time to bounce back, and I think that we will. I think we're going to go on a little bit of a hot streak here, so hopefully we can. But without any further ado, that's going to do it for me. This is King Sanders signing out. Peace.